name, Yahuwah. Blessed be your name, Yahuwah. Blessed be your name on this Shabbat day. Where you made the fish of the seas, the fowls, the air, the beasts, the every creeping thing on the earth, Yah. Mary, you're giving seed for meat for man, Yah, the vine for drink for man, Yah. You made the sun, the moon, the stars, the heavenly host, Yahuwah, the oceans, the seas, the dry land, Yahuwah. You made man and female in your own image, Yah. Gave them the breath of life. You made them living soul, Yahuwah. Oh, Yah, we thank you. You made him the Mashiach, Yah, for the seventh day you rested. You made a Mashiach for our atonement for our sins, Yeshua. Oh, Yah, we praise you today. We worship you today. We thank you. And you commanded Yeshua and your people to come. Come on the seventh day to give you praise and know that you sanctified us, Yahushua. That we know that we come together in one in you, Yah. We ask right now, the ones that are coming right now, Yahushua, be with them. Mercy, traveling mercies, the ones that cannot come or bedridden, Yah. Visit them, Yahushua, where they at, Yah. Yah, I pray right now, the ones that need to be in the house of Yah, to not stir them up, Yah. Yah, send the adversary. Let them think twice, Yahushua, for the things they're doing. But Yah, we ask you to be in this place today, Yah. And we have sinned before you, ask you to forgive us all week long. We did the responsible living, hustling, busting, doing everything all this week, but on the seventh day is Kaddish, sanctified and blessed. We ask you right now, before we come in your presence, to forgive us our sins, our faults, our shortcomings, the iniquity that we do so easy, that you may hear our petitions, that you may visit us and rest with us this day in El-Beth-el. Say our prayer together. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. My mama, be seated in the house of Yah. Welcome, welcome, welcome again to the El-Beth-el Sabbath Church, all my brothers and my sisters. On this day, the day is the 18th of January, 2019. On this Shabbat day of Yom Shishi, beginning of Shabbat. I'm so happy, really, to tell you the truth, I'm not going to lie. But Satan said, I want you to go and sit down. And then Ishmael, we went to the house, and I sat on that chair and the couch, and the devil talking about, yeah, why don't you let your brother and brother Favor, they can handle the Shabbat service today. Your leg hurt, won't you just miss out? I said, no, I'm going to Shabbat. I rebuke you, Satan, right now. Get behind me. I'm coming. But Brother Favor, he was in my ears real quick, bro. You know, you see the chair feeling good. You know your leg hurt, which is, you know, it's like, you know you tired, been to Fayetteville all day long, just getting back. You want to sit down. You know you got schoolwork to do. You know you're behind, and all this kind of excuse stuff. Well, I thank Yahuwah to put it in my spirit that I must be here. You know, I must be here to give him praise, not because of my brother, Ishmael, brother Favor, Sister Sue, or TV Lamb, or anybody else out there. And I don't come for you, I come from Yahuwah. Because I made a vow to him, and I know it's the day to worship him. This is his day. I want to give him honor. I want to reverence him. And plus, I want to be thankful to him, especially today. So we here at 118 Chaney Avenue, Jacksonville, North Carolina, 28540. You're welcome to worship with us on Yom Shishi, beginning Shabbat at 7. Got Shabbat tomorrow at 11:30. You got Yahuwah studies, instruction of the Torah, Yahuwah studies on Yom Revi at 7 o'clock. You're welcome to come and spend time with us as we go over the Torah and learn more of Yahuwah and how we may present ourselves a living sacrifice, holy and blamable before him. All right, the Creed of Bethel is Ephesians 4:5. We believe one Yahuwah, one faith, one baptism. In Ephesians chapter 2, verse 20, our foundation built upon the apostles and the prophet Yahushua, Mashiach, the chief cornerstone. Phone number here in Bethel is 910-388-5295. My phone number, Bishop phone number, which I thought I lost my phone today. I was tripping bad. Ishmael, it was in the backseat of my brother's car, man. I was bugging out, boy. But my phone number, 910-381-3056. And, you know, if you need to get in contact with me again, I'll give you the phone numbers. So all the media that I put out for education-wise, please don't damage that or scream against it or go against it or speaking negative to me or my ministers. You have a problem, please call me, text me, say something, cuss me out, knock down, do all you want to do that. I'll let you do that. But there's other people that desire to hear the knowledge of Yahuwah, desire to hear the truth, and you messing their chance up. And like I said, I don't want Yahuwah to put a millstone around your neck. You be drowning in the ocean. It's better for that. I don't want you to die. I want you to live. So leave the people alone. Give them a chance to live. Learn about Yeshua. Okay. I don't know if I forgot anything else, but if I did, it might come back to me. But I'm going to praise y'all, and everybody give y'all the praise. I'm going to get off this leg and bless them. All right? Shalom, shalom.
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 All praises to the Most High. I want to give another thankful praise to the Most High for giving me another chance to live. This in the morning light. He didn't have to do it, but he did.
Yes.
It's good to be amongst my brother and my sister. Thank y'all for letting me drive safely to and fro on the highways and byways. No hurt, harm, or danger came before me, my brother, my mother, and anybody else around. So that's his grace and his mercies and daily benefits he gives us. I want to thank again for just being here in the house and surviving one more week. Yes. All praises.
All praises.
I'd like to give praise to the Most High Yah, thank Him for another day of life,
Yes.
Glorious day that it is too. I'm glad to be here amongst my brothers and sisters out there in TV Land.
Yes.
I pray for your knee to get better there, Pastor Ron.
I appreciate that. I appreciate your prayers. Continue on praying, please.
I'm grateful to Brother Fabian for the help he gave me to try and get a bow that I don't know.
Hallelujah.
He gave me the idea to get me a good back massager. I appreciate that. That work, that I'm getting. To do me some good work. Hopefully it'll take this muscle and put it back where it belongs. In Yahusha's name do I pray. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Glory to God through Yahushua Mashiach. Glad to be here with another Shabbat.
Yes.
Praise Yah, hear the word,
Yes.
have fellowship, give praises to Yah. Just grateful to Yah for keeping me alive and amongst the living of the living. And I praise the Baruch Shabbat.
Hallelujah.
Thank you. Again, I thank Yahuwah. I'm going to let you go, Sister Sue. Let me speak real quick. Well, I want to thank Yahuwah again. Share my testimony a little bit today. Satan, man, wants to play games and stuff, man. He always trying to play games, especially with me. He's trying to trick me, mess me up, slow me down. You already know my mind is made up. My mind's on Yahuwah. My desires is to get to the kingdom of Yahuwah, the new millennium, Yah. We're talking about preaching the kingdom, and I want to be in the kingdom of Yah, and that's my desires. That's my hope. That's my mindset. But Satan has other plans for me. He wants me to miss out. He wants me to tell people lies and just be a phony or be a fake and anything else. And Brother Fabian, I told you about my dream a little bit last night. This thing is crazy, which why I know it's crazy because I wasn't high. I went on no pain pills. All my pain pills been gone, bro, for like 2 or 3 days, man. I was hurting, but this dream, man. That, man, my car turned around, man. I was on a cliff and I jumped out. My car went off the cliff, man, hit the ground, man. So I grabbed it, and there was like a cab driver, man. I forgot his name. He gave me his hands. He brought me up, lifted me up, right? That was cool. So I was climbing myself through this cave to the cliff. And every time I was digging in, it looked like the cliff was like under here, overhang, man. It looked like I was chipping away the cliff, like I was about to fall. So next minute, man, I chipped too much and I fell to the ground, man. As I fell, I reached out, man. I had one of these cab driver hands, but he couldn't hold me on, so I fell to the ground. But I didn't get hurt. That's what I'm saying, Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So I fell to the ground. So I got up, man. So I went where my van was at, man. My van, these people had my van. These Mexicans had my van, bro. They was stealing my stuff, man. And I said, hey, man, I grabbed their phone, man, and started calling calls on their phone.
Wow.
That's my hole right there. Oh, man. Then man, the cops didn't come. So the dude started coming out looking like beefing, like, yo, what's up? Like, what's you doing, man? So I backed up and started running to the main street. And
are you sleeping right now?
I'm still sleeping in my dream, man.
Okay.
This is a dream, man.
I thought you woke up.
No, this is a dream, man. I get up and run into the alley, man. The alley's like one of those bull rushes where everybody's running for the bull, and the bull's coming, everybody's running. It was like traffic, man. So I only got the phone and called the cops, man. It's like this. The cops started talking to me, man. And then after that, it was over, man. But the point I was trying to get at, I know it was, man. It's Satan. Somebody's trying to steal some stuff from me, man. I know it's Satan, man. While I'm down and out, while I'm hurting, man, he's trying to steal something from me. So I had to rebuke him real quick. But the day in which I know that dream was this morning, which I know again, I know how Satan works today. So I went to my appointment today. I give praise to y'all. My leg is still swollen, and it was tripping out, which my leg hurt, man. I had no pain for like 3-4 days, man. They finally seen it. They were tripping on me, and they looked like, man, this dude hurting bad. I said, yeah, I need some pain pills. You ain't give me no more, man. Called up there, man. Y'all kind of laughing at me. But, man, my doctor, I think Yah put it in the doctor's spirit that, that she gave me some more pain pills, man, and some ibuprofen and some stuff to get the swelling down. But then she came out and said, well, we need to see if you got any blood clots. I said, that's fine. So I did my first ultrasound, man, like x-ray and stuff on my leg and stuff. And they didn't find that. I wish I knew what none on there. Brother Faye, I know because y'all, you understand this TV land. Y'all promised me already. He already told me. Now I prayed this. He answered my prayer. My prayer was to go to Africa. From Africa, get my surgery done. From my surgery done, start working on my percentage from the military and get my things right, which is working. So Satan want to come in and try to scare me, talking about, yeah, they about to cut your leg off. Man, I started rebuking that right now in Yahushua's name, man. You ain't cutting nothing off. You ain't cutting none off my body or nothing. I got work to do for y'all. I'll tell y'all right now, how can I do work y'all with one leg? You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to go to these countries, but I know I can do it with one leg. But I'm telling you, this is my father. This is my Abba. You know, I'm talking to him. Abba, man. I want my legs. I want my arms. I want my mouth. I want to see. I want to hear. I said, it's time to do a work for Yahuwah. So I rebuke Satan left and right. It's time to work. It's time to do a great work for Yahuwah. One more other king. We're going to get in this house of Yah. I'm glad you made it.
Shalom.
Yeah, shalom, shalom. But again, I just want to thank Yahuwah for blessing me again. Traveling mercy, I think, for my middle brother Richard. Driving me up there. Now I know I could be a handsome, but this is about the second, third week he's driving back and forth to Fayetteville. I know we got shortcuts now to Fayetteville. That's what we're working on. How many times we've been going back and forth, but I thank Yahuwah, for traveling mercies back and forth, my mother ride and stuff. But I thank y'all for all this week, for keeping this week, even though my leg hurt. I got my jobs done at the shop. I know I'm hurting, but I'm getting my work done little by little. Getting bills paid. I'm accomplishing things slowly, but I'm getting it done. So I praise Yahuwah for that. My mind is made up on y'all, and I'm thankful on my reading and praising Him, seeking His face that He's here. I just thank for all the word that's been coming through here. From the minister speaking, that I still can eat during the weekdays, and think about some of the messages and think about some of the scriptures they say, for myself. So I just praise y'all, and I'm continuing to praise y'all just because it's Shabbat day. I've been thinking about Shabbat again, and I said in our Yahuwah study instruction, the Torah that we had, on Yom Revi, talking about, we had a great study, and I like that. We sat in and talked about the Shabbat day, and we talked about the traditions of men. Why traditions? Why men are still keeping Sundays instead of Shabbat, because they're in traditions and they don't want to change. And they get caught. If they do change, they're gonna lose everything, and they're scared of losing everything. So they got to answer Yahuwah for that. But again, I thank y'all for being in the house of y'all. So all right, Sister Sylvia, let's go. Yay!
Well, I'd just like to praise y'all for another day.
All right.
We got snow over the last couple of days, but
Right.
it looks at the weather report, tomorrow it's supposed to melt off. I don't know if it will or not, but I just praise y'all that while I was out and about driving around, that He kept my wheels right where they were supposed to be. So,
Right.
I'll read Shabbat verse. I'll go to my standard one over in Isaiah 66. starting at 21. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith Elohim. For as the new heavens and the new earth which I will make shall remain before me, saith Elohim, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Shabbat to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Elohim. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh.
Right on that. Read that scripture too, because I think about that on Shabbat day in the new millennium. You know, we're looking at all flesh with the fire never quenched, but they're keeping Shabbat. Not like that. All right. Elder King, want to say anything, sir?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All right. We're not going to be long tonight. I'm trying not to. Wherever the rock does tonight, let it be. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to listen in. Wherever it goes forward, it's going to go forward. But tonight we have my middle brother speaking, Minister Richard Hairston. I know you have something from y'all. And my brother traveling all the way down to Fayetteville back in Russian. I know y'all straight talking to him. I know y'all gave him something all this week. I know. And, you know, he had a chance to meditate today too. All that traveling and stuff. So I present everybody, T.B. and Richard Hairston in the El-Beth-el Sabbath Church. Teacher tonight. All right. All right. Get it right. Yep. This is the day that y'all has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that y'all has made. We will rejoice. We will rejoice. I'm going to rejoice. I'm going to bless him. I'm going to praise him. I'm going to magnify his namesake. His name to all generations. I'm going to praise his name. All generations will know that whose name I praise is Yeshua. And this new generation too, they're going to know. You ready, my brother? Let's rock and roll.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All praises.
Praise
to the Most High. He's worthy to be praised.
Yes.
Thank you again for letting me speak tonight in the house of Yah. It's a blessing. It's an honor when you get to speak the word in the house on, I want to say on his behalf, on my behalf. On my behalf, not his behalf, on my behalf, because he is the word.
Yes.
So I'm thankful.
The word was made flesh and dwelt among us.
Yes, indeed. And tonight,
Sure.
all through the week, I was thinking of a word to give and to say, a sermon to give and to speak. And I was thinking about, especially we had studies on Wednesday night talking about how Yahuwah and keeping traditions of man, forsaking the traditions of man. And I was thinking, like, why would we do that? Why did we do that? And I was thinking, and I prayed about it, and I said, y'all said, give me something to say or give me something. I said, why we do things like that? Why we have to keep the law, statutes, commandments? He said, and this is the sermon tonight. The title of the message he said, "Be holy, because thou art holy." And I said, oh. All right, thank you.
Come on, boy, you answer him like that. You can't hardle you like that. Ooh, come on. Hey, Yeshua.
So that's the
you
message
good dish, because I am
that's
the
why
dish,
we do
y'all.
it, because I'm holy. And I was thinking about that, like today, we talked about Wednesday, like traditions of man, and everybody's taking on to their own ways and their own spirits, or like in Romans, they said they gave a reprobate mind doing their own thing. But all from the beginning of time, even from the beginning when he made the earth and the heavens, everything is holy. I think we forget about how Yahuwah, about how Yah is. Like we think of how powerful he is and how about his justice. He's gonna come down and rain justice on everybody, and and he's gonna at the end times he's gonna come back, and Yahushua's gonna come back and take over his kingdom. But we forget about. We also talk about how loving our Yah is, our Elohim is, how loving he is, but we forgot, and I think we tend to forget how holy he is, how holy, Kadesh, our Elohim is, and that's the reason why everything was laid before us. That's the reason why we do the things we do, why we have to pray, why we have to fast, why we have to forbid some things, why we have to come on the Shabbat, because he made it holy and sanctified. That's why we can't. He said, be perfect, walk thou before me. He said, be perfect. If the only way you're going to be perfect, you got to be clean. You got to be spotless, without blemish, just like his son was, without blemish, without spot. You got to be holy. You got to be perfect, or he ain't got nothing to do with it. He cannot stand sin. He cannot be around sin. He cannot stand around stains and unholiness and dirtiness. Our clothes are like filthy rags. We can't have no part of the kingdom if we got anything that's unholy, unclean around him. He said, I'm not having it. So before we come to him, even before we come to the throne of grace, what do we have to do? We have to confess our sins and repent, because then our prayers won't even be answered. He won't even look at you. Like the bishop said on Wednesday, he won't even look at you. Yeah, he'll turn his face on you. He won't even answer him, because he won't even hear you. He'll turn his ear, because you're not holy, not clean. You can't get his attention. Like I said, from the beginning of time, it was said so that Yahuwah, Yah, is holy, and he made the heavens and the earth. Everything he did, he blessed, and he said, he said it was good. That means when he said it was good, that means it was right, it was righteous, it was holy, because Yah is holy, and he's perfect. And we only exist because of his glory. We were made because to serve him, to be we were like his prized possession. We were made a little lower than the angels, but we are his prized possessions. We are his beloved, and that means he made us holy. And if you want to go to Genesis, let's go to Genesis. Like I said, when I preach and teach, I like to start at Genesis, where it all began. Let's go to Genesis. Let's see. So Genesis chapter 11. Chapter 11 verses. Let's see. Chapter 11 verses. Sorry about that. I think I might have wrote it wrong.
What are you talking about?
Let's see.
Who you talking about? I'll get you
Sorry about that. Sorry. Let's go to Genesis 1. Let's try that. Genesis 1. Let's go to Genesis 1. Go to verse. And let's go to verse 26. That's what it was. It was Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27. All right. And it reads, and Yah said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let him have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creepy thing that creepeth upon the earth. Verse 27, so Yah created man in his own image. In the image of Yah created he him, male and female. He created them. So, this is like the last, as you read, the last day that Yah had made man before he rested. So like I always say, he saved the best for last. He created everything else. He created all the heavens, the earth, and it's like he was set the stage to make man. He had to build the heavens, the earth, the light, the darkness, the fermentation, the creatures and everything. But as you notice, Yah made man last. So he made for his prized possession. So he had to it's like he was making from the beginning, Yah has been like a husbandman, like a parent. So what do parents do? They have to build a house, make a house for their children. They have to make a garden, make provisions for them. So that's what Yah did in Genesis chapter 1. So his prized possession. So he made everything holy, but he made his greatest creation, us, he made it definitely holy. So as I was saying, that man was made last of all creatures, showing that that he honored man, showing his honor and his kaddish, that he made us holy because he made us last. And man was created last with divine wisdom, power, and everything out of every other creature. So he made all the animals first, the fowls, the beasts, every creepy crawly thing, but he made man last. And of course, and like I said in my last sermon, he stewardship to Adam. He allowed Adam to name all the animals that he created. So he gave him honor for doing that. So like I said, we are his prized possession, and he loved us so much that he gave us He gave us this detail for us to name animals in the end. And like I said, he made everything else first, but he made us last. And obviously, I guess his prized possession of the holiest was us, in his own image. He made us in his own image, like y'all was saying, that the best for last, and by acquiring the assistance of other things, the Holy Spirit and Yahushua. He said, let us make man in our own image. As you noticed before in the other days, y'all did it himself. What it says y'all did himself, but we know Yahushua was there doing the things created by him. But as it reads, he said, y'all said, let us, let there be light, let this. But on the sixth day when he made man, he said, let us. So that means he wanted this to be so perfect that he wanted other things to inspire him, other wisdom. So he said, let us make man in our own image. And I thought that was kind of profound. Again, that means putting us on top of everything else. He didn't do that with the creatures, the seas, or anything else. He said, let us make man in our own image. So he was honoring us, saying that he wanted everybody else's opinions or what he thought about us to make us. So that makes us holy than anything else. And that's what I'd like to say about it. Being so holy that he made us first right in our first birthright. He made us holy for Adam. Adam, being the first man, his first son. So he was holy. So like y'all does everything holy and perfect because he's a perfect y'all. Let's go to Genesis chapter 2, verses 1 through 7. And we'll read, we'll read how he made everything first and then he made us last. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day Yah ended his work which he had made. And he had rested on the seventh day from all his work that he had made. And Yah blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in that he had rested from all his work in which Yah created and made. These are the generations of the heavens of the earth when they were created in that day that Elohim made the earth and the heavens. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, before Elohim Yah had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. In verse 7, and Elohim formed man of the dust and of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils in the breath of life, and man became a living soul. But like I was saying, on the seventh day, he made us on the last day before he rested. So we were the last great thing he had to do. And that shows us, he gave us honor. And that means he made us holy. He did, like you said, he made the plants. He made the housing area for us. He made the garden for us. Built up a picket fence or whatever you want to call the animals. So he made everything perfect in the Garden of Eden for his prized possession, which is us. And then he made us from the ground and blew his holy breath in our nostrils and gave us a living soul. So everything about us is holy because he breathed into our nostrils and gave us some of his living being, for Yah's living being into our soul, and that makes us holy from that point on. He sanctified us, and he created everything, but he sanctified us as he did with that seventh day. This is Shabbat day, and right here the Sabbath. So he made it holy. He sanctified it. So he sanctified us, and he sanctified that last day. And that's why he said, be thou holy, for I am holy. And that's how we became holy right there on that day when he made Adam in the garden. And that's how he makes us holy. And, as always, in Genesis, there's the fall of man, which has made us unholy. So, the fall of man, y'all had planned for us to receive blessings and live eternally. But as you know, Satan came and he dethroned that and he thwarted that and made us unholy when Adam and Eve disobeyed Yah. And because we disobeyed him, he made us unclean and made us unholy. And that means we broke our relationship with Yah, so we couldn't be around him. He can't be around anything unholy, remember? He can't be around anything dirty, unholy with blemishes. So that kind of separated us from Yah. As if he was walking through the garden every day to talk to Adam and commune with Adam. So even the garden, even eating was holy too. The Garden of Eden was holy because y'all could walk in it, and he could walk in it and freely and having a good time. But when it made unholy is when we got our spots and blemishes when we committed sin. Let's go to Genesis chapter 6, verses 1 through 7. And talk about how the covenant and how holy. And talk about how it's because of that, because of sin, y'all had to destroy man several times in spirit and also physically destroy us because we became so tainted and unclean and unholy. He did that a couple of times. Like he said, he got so fed up and messed up that he couldn't take it no more, that he had to destroy man from the face of the earth. And we know that from Genesis 6, 1 through 7. And it reads, "And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, the daughters were born unto them, that the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And Elohim said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that. And when the sons of Yah came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, and the same became the mighty men which were old and men of renown. And Yah saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented that Elohim that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And Yah said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and creepy thing and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made him. Like I said, Adam and Eve, Yah forgave them, made skins for them, and covered them with the blood. But we also know that Cain killed, and it started the transgressions of men, the backsliding, the downsliding. But it had to be so bad. Like I said, 4 chapters over, we were his prized possessions. We were holy. We was his prized possession. Now you see in chapter 6, got so bad that it grieved our Savior, our God, our Yah, our Jehovah, however you call him. He grieved him so bad that he had to destroy everything. But if you look at it, he said it in reverse order. He said, I was going to destroy man and both beasts and creepy things. So he kind of did it in a reverse order, how he was going to destroy everything. So I found that kind of hit me in my spirit, as in chapter 1, he made the creepy things, the beast in the air first, and then man. And then in chapter 6, verse 7, he said, I'm going to destroy both man, beast, and creepy thing, and went kind of backwards on that. So that kind of hit me in my spirit like that, because man was so corrupt. He had to destroy man because he was no longer holy. He couldn't take it no more. He said, what else can I do but destroy them? They start all over again. And that's when, after that, Yah made a holy nation, with Abraham, after the Noah, and he populated the earth again. Then Abraham, that's when he started doing his covenants, where he couldn't destroy man again, because he promised with the covenant of the rainbow, I won't destroy man. But he said, with Abraham, I'm going to start my seed. I'm going to start a holy nation with Abraham, kind of like starting all over again. Let's go to Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 through 5. And it'll show how Yah started a holy nation, started the sanctification of his people, started to call them out, and started to separate them. And it started with Abram. Chapter 12, verse 1 through 5. Now Elohim, he had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show you, and I will make of thee a great nation. I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed as the Lord Elohim had spoken unto him. And Lot went with him, and Abram was 75 years old when he had departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had got in Haran, and they went forth into the land of Canaan, and to the land of Canaan they came. So right here, this is when Yah was making him a holy nation. He started with Abram. He said, Get thee out of thy country. Because we know that Abram's family was worshiping idols and false gods. So like I said again, y'all can't be around things filthy and unclean. So what he had to do is he had to separate you. So he said, Abram, get thee from out thy house and take your people and your wife and your nephew, get out of that place where I can sanctify you. I got to clean you up. He said, I got to separate you to get you away from those things so I can clean you up and make you a holy nation. And that's what he was doing. And we also know, and we're going, now we skip down to Moses. And this is where Moses, where y'all had freed his people again. They were in bondage, but he had freed his people, and he had to separate them again. The same concept. This is what I like about our Yah. He does the same thing. He does not change. The same way he had separated Abram to get him out of the father's house, the same thing he had to do with Moses and the children of Israel. He had to get him out of Egypt, get him away from all those idols or everything unclean, and separate them, get them to a place where he can sanctify them. But this time he's going to sanctify them, make them holy, but also teach them how to keep holy with laws, statutes, and commandments. So that's the thing about it. That's what I love about it. He has to separate you and get you out of the things that you're in. So even like today, we're in sin. If you're in a bad way, if you're in a bad relationship, or if you are dealing with some things that you're not supposed to be, the only way to get clean is to, of course, you can confess and repent, but it says repent, turn from your ways, but you have to separate yourself from those things that's unclean. And I learned that myself in my own testimony. I had to, being around those things, you had to separate yourself, and you had to listen to the word of Yah. Separate yourself, and then to cleanse yourself and make yourself clean before he can have any more dealings with you, because you're dirty. You're like filthy rags. And again, Yah was saying the president's here about cleansing, sanctifying, and purifying his people, his children of Israel, because he made that promise, that covenant with Abraham. Because that's when he started making things holy. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 11, verses 44 and 45. And this is started like the sanctification of his children, of his people, of the Israelites. Leviticus chapter 11, 44, verse 44 and 45. And it reads, For I am Elohim, your Yah. Ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall ye defile yourselves with any manner of creepy thing that creepeth on the earth. For I am Elohim, that bringeth you up out of the land of Egypt to be your Yah. Ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. In verse 44 and 45, he's making his commandments right here. He's giving an order. He's giving a statement. He said, be holy, for I am holy. And then he said he said every creepy thing. But again, he did like in a reverse order. So he's saying anything creepy thing is from the ground on up. He said, sanctify yourself. So even the ground you walk on, because remember, when Moses came to the bush, he said, take your sandals off because you are standing on holy ground. And I'm thinking that even your sandals are not even clean, so you have to take them off to walk on my ground. So that's what he's saying, for any creepy thing. So whatever creepy thing Moses has on his sandals, he said, you got to take that off, Moses, because you're on holy ground. Now, I don't know how clean Moses' feet were, but I guess it was clean enough for him to go into the presence of Yah, because I think that was flesh. And we know that Yah had sanctified the flesh of man, so I guess it was all right for him to proceed further to be in his presence. And when he said, I am Elohim, that means he also said for Yahweh, he said, I am Elohim. He said, I am the Lord. He was making a ceremonial statement right there when he was saying that. He was saying that, he said, therefore sanctify yourselves. And I was thinking, well, how can you sanctify yourselves? And he said, ye be holy, for I am holy. What I believe, he said, sanctify yourself. That means join yourself with me. He said, and once you join yourself with me and call upon me, now you're sanctifying yourself. And also sanctifying yourself, that means set yourself apart. Get away from those things, because I'm about to make you a holy nation. I'm about to make you sanctified and Kaddish. But you got to get away from those things. That's why he said, I brought you out of Egypt. So he said, I did that first. So again, he was setting the precedence of being holy and separating you. And this is what I was asking myself, why does Yah want us to be holy? Like I said again, because this whole world is tainted, and he can't be around tainted and dirty things. He wants us to be set apart, and let us not forget that he is Yah. Like I said, he is the most powerful. He's justice. He's loving and all that, but he's holy. I can't even fathom when I start reading this. Like, he's so holy that everything around us is just like dirt and filth. And the prophet Isaiah, he found out like that when he had his vision about heaven, and I noticed this also in the Old Testament. Most of the prophets and all the men and women of Yah, when they came into the presence of angels or in the spokesperson or even Yahushua himself, they were fearful. They were fearful. They fell to their knees. They couldn't even look at anything that represented what Yah was using, a burning bush, a donkey, or anything else. So they had reverence about that, and they were so fearful that they thought they were going to die. And that's the way, I'm saying, look at where we are now, that we don't even take Yah's name in vain and profane his name by cursing and doing things like outside, not even coming on Shabbat, but even on things, or even on Sunday. And that's the thing about it, curse his name and using Yahushua's picture for comics and making fun of him. And I was like, that's not nowhere near holy. And I'm thinking about in the Old Testament, they were even afraid to say his name. They was like, the name you did not speak of. They start calling him I am. Or they say the great one, the mighty one. They couldn't even call his name because it was so holy. Or that would be blasphemy if you said anything that was not even right about his name. Even the first 4 commandments is dealing with Yah and his holiness. And that's the thing about it. So now today we don't even think about it. We'll just say his name and curse his name like that and think nothing of it, but his name is holy, and that's why I just can't fathom when I was going over this sermon that he is so holy that I don't even have a right. Like I said, I feel honored to come here and speak his name and then read from his book, just like the prophets did and the men and women in the Old Testament were. So let's go to Isaiah chapter 6, verses 1 through 10, and this is how I think somebody should be when they come into the presence of Yah in the holies of the holies.
Isaiah 6?
Isaiah chapter 6, yes sir, verses 1 through 10. And this is the prophet Isaiah when he had the vision, when he was taken up into heaven and shown great things. Isaiah chapter 6, verses 1 through 10. In the year that the king Uzziah had died, I saw also Elohim sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, and his train was filled the temple. Now it says Elohim, he was talking about Yahushua on this. And above it stood the seraphims. Each one had 6 wings. With twain he had covered his face, and with twain he had covered his feet, and with twain he did fly. And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. And then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips. I dwelt in the midst of a people of unclean lips, for my eyes have seen the King, the Elohim of hosts, the Lord of hosts. Now right here, this is how somebody's supposed to be when they come into the presence of Yah. Isaiah, the prophet, a man, but he was taken up into heaven, or shown a vision, and he was seeing. The first thing he did, he cried out and said, I am nothing. I am about dirt. I don't deserve to be here. I am unclean. Woe is to me. Because he said woe is to me, he thought he was going to die. He's like, if I'm seeing all this, I ain't supposed to be seeing all this because of the glory of Yah. He said, oh, woe is me, for I am done, I am clean. He knew in his heart he was unclean. That's the thing about it. Today, he recognized that he was unclean, and he said, woe unto me. And that's what most of us should be today, and most of us are, that we know that we have sinned, and we come into the reverence of Yah when we come into his word or to his temple. We come into adoration and loving, but we know that we are unclean. We pray, we ask for forgiveness, and we confess of our sins. But same with Isaiah, he did that. I marveled at that because he was in there. Then he said about how his people, he realized that he was unclean, and he realized that everybody around him was unclean. He said, woe is to me and the whole nation. We are unclean. We are not worthy to be in his presence because we are in the presence of a holy, holy God, a holy Elohim, our Yah, our maker, our creator. He is so holy that I shouldn't even be here. And Isaiah saw this at first hand. And I noticed it says one of the angels flew down and met Isaiah, and he touched his lips. And he with a piece of coal and burnt his lips, and he sanctified him and pured him. That's the thing about it. Like I said, you can't be in the presence of Yah and being unclean. So when Isaiah was there, and he noticed he was unclean, well, look what happened. Yah came, and he cleansed his lips. He burnt and sanctified his lips and purified him with that piece of coal. And that's what he does with us, with the blood of Yahushua. He cleanses us with, we all say cleanse, washing with the blood. That's what y'all did with us. He cleansed it with the blood of Yahushua. So now we can come boldly to the throne of grace now because of the sacrificial lamb. I noticed that y'all uses fire many times to purify us, to burning things off. Either burning off evil things. He says all our works are going to be burned up, and all the good works is going to be shown, purified like pure gold and silver. So burning is a way of cleansing and purifying, as we all know. You burn things like you got a splinter and you burn the needle first before you poke it into your skin to take the splinter out, because you're trying to cleanse it, you're trying to purify it. And that's what Yah does with us. He burns things off of us. And fire, and burning is also going to be for justification too. And justifying and burning judgment. I know it's supposed to be about holy, but he is holy. That's what we forget. He's holy and just. That's why we say holy and just. He's holy first, then he comes with the judgment. And he's going to be burning everything else with that. But once he burns it, he's going to purify it and cleanse it. That's why earth and heaven is going to burn. Earth is going to burn. All this earth is going to burn away, but he's going to make a new heaven and earth. It's going to be purified. It's going to be clean. All right? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 14. And we're going to talk about some more purification. And I won't be before you too long. Like I said, be holy for thine holy.
What was that chapter again?
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 14. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 14, and it reads, For the Lord Elohim walked in the midst of thy camp to deliver thee, and to give up thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing in thee, and turn away from thee. So right here, like I said, y'all can't be in the presence of anything unclean. So what he was saying right here, he's telling Moses and about the camp that y'all got to be clean. Everything has to be right. That's why he gave all those laws, statutes, commandments. Anything unclean, you notice that they had to put everything outside the camp that was unclean. You know, he gave the laws, he gave the rules. If you're unclean, leprosy, unclean. If you're the period of a woman's purification, sanctification.
Never mind.
The woman's sanctification. Unclean, you got to go outside the camp. Anything touching the dead body, you got to go outside the camp because the presence of Yah was there. So he can't be around anything that's not clean. So he said, make sure that your camp is clean. It's like your parents say, before I come home, you make sure your room is clean before I come home. I make sure, my mom always said, make sure that kitchen is clean before I come home. And I realized that my mom never wanted to cook unless the kitchen was clean. So before she cooked, she made us wash dishes, she made us wipe everything down before she started cleaning. And now I know why. It's the same thing with this right here in this verse. Before y'all can come to the presence, he has to come with everything clean because he don't want to walk anything. He can't be around it. So if you don't feel the presence of y'all or Yahushua around it, like I can't feel his presence, I can't feel his presence. That's why somebody says you need to look at yourself and make sure you have no sin in you. Or before you pray, or before you take of the communion, that's what they always say. You need to pray, make sure you have nothing in you that's going to make you sick. That's why they said it'll make you sick or even kill some people because you're unclean and you're taking on something holy. And they say you cannot be with nothing holy, it will be unclean.
There you go.
And the Israelites, they only had to keep the area clean and keep the camp clean, but we know they disobeyed that. And we get the lesson when they had hit some object that they stole, that they took from the enemies, and they hit them. And y'all saw that. He said he started cleaning off everybody in the camp. And that's why Joshua had to go find that unclean thing in there. And that was that sin. This is what I'm talking about. The whole camp was shut down because there was some unclean things, unclean people in the camp. And that's why y'all had to shut it down and said, until y'all find it, I'm not gonna come in your camp and bless you. And that's why the enemy overtook them, because he wasn't in their presence. Again, like I said, be holy is also to live holy. That's what we need to do today, living holy. And that's where we are at in this present time, is to live holy. And living holy is to keep the law, statute, commandments. To live holy is to not be around anything that's going to defile yourself. When we say defile yourself, it's like to make y'all leave your presence. It's being with unclean people, hanging around people, cursing and smoking and things like that. I'm saying sometimes you got to be around those people, but if you had a choice or a chance, you separate yourself from those people, because of the things that they're doing is going to contaminate you and make you unclean spiritually. I know that's kind of deep. For us, it's not deep, because we know we are conditioned, we are holy. But I'm saying, if you hang around things that you're not supposed to, you take on the bad habits and that bad seed. Even though we are under grace with the blood of Yahushua, but we are called to be perfect and before Him. Like I said, to be perfect before Him, stand before Him, you can't have no spot or blemish on you. So I guess what I'm saying is, you need to practice what you preach. If you got to do it down here on this earth before we do it up there in the heavens. So we practice what you preach. You got to be holy and kaddish. Let's go to 1 Peter. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 14. First Peter chapter 4, as you were. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 14. And it reads, as obedient children, not fashion yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance, but as in which He has called you is holy. So be ye holy in all manners of conversation, because it is written, be holy, for I am holy. And there again, He says, be holy, for I am holy. So he said, called us children, obedient children. As obedient children, that means going back into the Old Testament, when the children of Israel said, will you follow my commandments? They said, They said, yes. They said, yes, our Lord, yes, Elohim, yes. But it says, as obedient children, not fashion yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance. That's when you come into the truth and come to the saving knowledge of Yahushua. You know all these things already. So you're not ignorant to these things. So you know when something's unclean. You know something is dirty. You know something is not right. It's like if you see a bunch of guys over there bending down and talking a bunch of stuff and they throwing dice, you don't have to go over and see what they're doing. You know they ain't doing something right. So you walk the other way, because you already know. Because you're not ignorant to the fact, because you have that Holy Spirit in you, have the Ruach HaKodesh in you that's going to tell you anyway that don't go over there. You'll feel something bad in your spirit that they know that's not clean. And all manner of conversations be clean. Like the bishop was saying, if you have anything that you said ill will toward anybody in this house, he said speak to him, and then he'll talk to you. But other than that, we need to keep our conversations clean. Don't be like them. If they're going to go off on you and curse like that, and we make sure we keep our conversations clean, because Yahushua did that. He did not curse. He did not spat out anything bad. He spoke in peace. He spoke in love. Right. He spoke boldly, though, when he had to. But anything he said, he did not sin. He kept his conversations the same manner that was given to him. But he was still holy, and he still spoke upright and perfect, where they couldn't say anything bad about him. Like, they could say, oh, that's supposed to be your pastor out there, and he cursing and talking like that, and talking about, look at that girl's box, and look at that girl, she stacked like a brick house and everything like that, and you're looking like, how could that, he's the pastor of the house, and he's supposed to be holy, but he's talking like that? And then, I don't know. I don't think I want to go to his house and pray. If he's talking like that. And that's what I'm talking about. He said, all mannerisms of your conversation. Even that, he said, even your conversations got to be holy. Even your dress, your speech, and the things you eat. He wants everything about you holy because He is holy. And we must do that out of fear. And that's like I said earlier. We don't do it out of fear no more. We just do it because we're under grace and nothing has happened to us. We're not struck dead because we blaspheme like they did in the Old Testament. They got struck down or they got stoned, taken outside the camp and stoned for blasphemy. Even if you curse against your parents, you got taken out the camp and you were stoned because that was blasphemy, and that was one of the laws and statutes and commandments. Now you go into any store, you see these kids cursing their parents up and down the aisles and things like that, and they can't even lay a hand on them because it's child abuse now. But it's like, how did it get to that point? You let these kids, curse you out like that, and that's beyond me. So that's what I'm saying. Back in the day, in the Old Testament, you get stoned for even saying anything about your parents like that. But you can be holy, but like I said, you can't be holier than thou, and that's what Yah wants to tell us, men and women of Yah. Be holy, but not be holier than thou. Don't think to put yourself up there so high on a pedestal like the Pharisees did. They thought they were holier than thou when they start downplaying everything. Even Yahushua himself, and asking why your disciples are eating this, why your disciples not washing their hands. And like we talked about on Wednesday, the traditions of man. That's what Yah was saying. He said, be holy like me, and like the examples I set before you, but don't think yourself holier than thou that you can't get rebuked, that you think you're all that in a bag of chips, that people are looking at you and they can see that holier than thou spirit in you. You don't want to do that. You want to be, I guess, be compassionate and passionate, but let's be holy where you can commune and talk to people and save souls. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16 and 17. And, wrap this up and bring this on home. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16 and 17. And this is one of my favorite scriptures right here. And it reads, Know ye not that ye are the temple of Yah, and that the Spirit of Yah dwelt in you? And this was a question, a rhetorical question again. It's like, didn't you know? Don't you know that don't you know you're a temple? Don't you know you were, like going back to Genesis, don't you know that you are heaven's best, that you are holy, that He made you last? If any man defile the temple of Yah, him shall Yah destroy, for the temple of Yah is holy, which temple ye are. Like I said, He made, it goes back to Genesis, He breathed the breath of life in us and gave us the Holy Spirit, the soul, and His Spirit in us. That made us a temple. As soon as He breathed into us, we became a temple, upright and perfect. And of course, like I said, evil because of sin and because of Satan, that we are walking a mess. But then